Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Stockton, and I'm running to be your next president of Phi Beta Lambda. I've had a wonderful first year so far in PBL, and I hope during my tenure as president I will be able to give that same experience to others. To begin with, I believe that a president should be a hardworking individual. Throughout my competitive soccer career, I was consistently named and voted for as captain by my teammates and coaches because of my hardworking nature. I was always willing to stay after practice to do extra conditioning, extra footwork, and anything else that I needed to do to make myself succeed on the field. And I'm willing to put that same sort of effort into everything that I do to make sure that things are done right the first time and they're done well the first time. And I know I'd put that to good use as president of PBL. A president also needs excellent communication skills. When I was a senior patrol leader of my Boy Scout troop, a position very similar to the president of PBL, I was able to improve my already strong communication skills. I had to constantly stay in contact with my assistant senior patrol leaders, who are like vice presidents, the patrol leaders, who are like committee heads, and various other cabinet members to help make sure that the troop ran smoothly, that meetings were planned effectively, and that outings were run and that they were a success. And all of these skills and experience are almost exactly like the duties that I would have as president, and I know that I'd be able to carry them out effectively. Finally, a president needs to be accountable. If a leader won't own up to his own mistakes and instead just blames them on the failures of others, then he isn't an effective leader. And this will result in his teammates or other members of his board rebelling against him. And I understand that I am not perfect and that I make mistakes just like everyone else. But when I'm wrong or when I mess up on something, I admit it and I immediately work to remedy my error. And as president, it is imperative that I take responsibility for the things that I do wrong or for the things that don't go well. As president, I will work with the unique opportunity that we have been given by having one of our own members, Kevin Zhang, elected as ASDVC president. I will use this to the club's advantage to gain a better relationship with ASDVC and to gain more funds for the club conferences to make conferences more available or more affordable for other members. I also want to build club membership to become the largest PBL chapter in the nation. My goal is to have almost 200 members. I truly believe that I am the best candidate for the role of president of PBL. I am hardworking, I have excellent communication skills, and I am responsible and accountable. I have loved my first year so far in PBL, and I hope to be able to give back to this club by being president. So remember, vote for me, Andrew Stockton, for president of PBL. As I said earlier, I've had a wonderful first year in PBL. I've made some great friends, and the club has allowed me to grow more as a leader. I know that being president will change me and test my leadership ability and make it much stronger than it already is. I hope to learn more effective managing skills that I can apply to running my own small business at some time in the future. I also think that this is a great way to give back to the club, and I want to help make the club just as exciting and engaging and insightful for others as it was for me. I definitely think that I'm qualified to be the president of the club. If I didn't, I really wouldn't be running for this position. Like I said before, my qualities like being hardworking, being accountable, having good communication skills, being responsible, as well as my experience as team captain, as senior patrol leader, and a bunch of other opportunities, have all given me a really strong base of knowledge and skills that I know that I'll need to be successful in running and being the club president. And I know that I'll be able to succeed in a very high pressure and fast-paced and ever-changing environment. This past semester, I was a member of the executive board as historian. During my tenure, I was able to observe how the executive board functions and the kinds of things that they do on a day-to-day basis, and I've really taken note of what exactly it is as president I would be doing. It's also helped to strengthen, being on the board also helped to strengthen my communication skills and my motivation, or my self-motivation, I should say, because a lot of times as historian, I was pretty much just left to get everything done. And make sure that it was done on time and done on time well. This semester, I also began refereeing collegiate level rugby, and this has taught me a lot of lessons about how to stay calm under pressure and how to make a quick and a correct decision. Refereeing has also taught me how to manage a large group of people and get them to all work toward a common goal, while gaining their respect at the same time. And it's definitely also taught me how to prioritize situations. Sometimes there will be injured players on the field, and I have to deal with that and make sure that everyone's staying safe, but at the same time that the game is progressing like it should. And I really doubt that I've been able to have learned any of the skills anywhere else, and I really think that they'll help serve me and the club, if I'm elected president. I think in general, PBL is in a great place, and it's a great club. We're the largest club on campus, and we're the second largest chapter in the nation, with about 140 registered members. But that being said, there are always things that we can improve. During my tenure, I want to try and create a way to try and incentivize members to participate more in meetings and to try and to show up more. It seems that for having 140 members, there should be more than them at the general meetings. Another thing that I'd like to do is strengthen the buddy mentorship program. That sort of got off the ground right towards the end of the year here, and I want to make sure that that continues going because I think that that's a good program. And so I'm sure that I will add my 2 cents to it and make sure that it starts running a little bit better. And then finally, the club is going to be switching to a new online system for submitting papers. And that is a DVC wide thing, and I want to try and make sure that PBL has a good transition to this new system, because if it doesn't, and if the transition doesn't go smoothly, then that could really mean the life or death of the club for that semester. And so that's one of the things that I know that I will be changing as president, and that I want to make sure works well the first time. I firmly believe that the most effective leader should be what's called a servant leader, and I definitely try and be a servant leader. Essentially, what a servant leader is it's not someone who's always leading from the front and giving orders and saying this is what you have to do and what you have to do and what you have to do. It's instead more of I'll do this, you do this, you do this, and we're all going to make a group effort to achieve some sort of a common goal. And I think that this really helps to eliminate slacking off or the neglecting of duties by one of the members of the team, because it forces everyone to rely on each other and to work together. And if one person starts to drop the ball, then that affects everybody instead of just reflecting badly on one person. If that does end up happening on my board, one of the things that I will do is I will quietly pull them aside and say, hey, you really need to step up and take responsibility for your job. This is something you voluntarily signed up for. I don't believe in publicly shaming people. I don't think that works for anybody, and I think that only makes situations worse. So I wouldn't do something like that. But if the situation does end up getting worse, I definitely would start implementing a deadline system and weekly or bi-weekly check-ins to make sure that they're getting all of their stuff done.